5 Interesting Facts About Mars Part 2. 1. We have pieces of Mars on Earth. Remember the low gravity on Mars that we talked about? In the past, the planet has been hit by large asteroids, just like Earth. Most of the debris fell back on the planet, but some of it was ejected into space. That sparked an incredible journey where the debris moved around the solar system and in some cases, landed on Earth. The technical name for these meteorites is called SNC, shergottites, nuclites, chassignites, types of geologic composition. Gases trapped in some of these meteorites has been practically identical to what NASA's Viking landers sampled on the Red Planet in the 1970s and 1980s. 2. Mars would kill an unprotected astronaut quickly. There are a lot of unpleasant scenarios for somebody who took off their helmet. First, Mars is usually pretty cold. Its average temperature is -50 degrees Fahrenheit, -45 degrees Celsius, at the mid-latitudes. Second, it has practically no atmosphere. The air pressure on Mars is only 1% of what we have, on average, on the Earth's surface. And third, even if it did have atmosphere, the composition is not compatible with the nitrogen-oxygen mix humans require. Specifically, Mars has about 95% carbon dioxide, 3% nitrogen, 1.6% argon and a few other elements in its atmosphere. 3. In the early space age, we thought Mars was like the Moon. The early NASA probes that flew by the Red Planet all, coincidentally, happened to image spots on the planets that had craters. This led some scientists to, mistakenly, believe that Mars has an environment similar to the Moon, cratered and practically unchanging. This all changed when Mariner 9 arrived at the planet for an orbital mission in November 1971 and discovered the planet engulfed in a global dust storm. What's more, odd features were poking out above the dust, features that turned out to be dormant volcanoes. And as mentioned earlier, Mariner 9 found the vast Vias Marineris. It changed our view of the planet forever. 4. Mars has methane in its atmosphere. Methane can be interpreted as a sign of biological activity, microbes emit it, or even of geologic activity. And active planets, it is thought, are more likely to have life on them. So the question of methane on Mars is one that scientists are trying to figure out. The consensus? There is no consensus. Telescopic observations have had wildly different measurements over the years, and few spacecraft have been designed to probe for the element in detail. The Curiosity rover has detected tenfold spikes in methane in its area, but we don't know where it came from and why the fluctuations are happening. 5. Mars is a popular spacecraft destination. There have been so many spacecraft that attempted a Martian mission that it's hard to pick notable ones in a short article. NASA's Vikings were the first landers in 1976. In fact, NASA is the only agency that has managed to land on the planet so far. Some of its other missions include Pathfinder Sojourner, the first lander-rover combination, in 1997, the Mars exploration rovers Spirit and Opportunity in 2004, and the Curiosity rover of 2012. And this doesn't even mention the fleet of orbiters that have mapped Mars over the years from the Soviet Union, NASA, the European Space Agency and India. And there are many more spacecraft to come in the next decade.